Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, we're going to go over a topic that was requested a couple of weeks ago, a week ago. Can't remember when, but it was requested also like months ago. So many people have been requesting this, and I've been busy, but I didn't forget. A lot of you guys are also new here, and I made a video like this before, but I wanted to make a more updated one with a little bit more details. Why do avoidants offer friendship when, in fact, they actually love you? But they're offering friendship, which is very confusing, right? And I get that, okay? Before we get into that, there's a couple things I want to talk about, and then we'll get into some of it, okay? The first one is I plan on posting this on Thanksgiving. Hopefully I remember. This video is the Thanksgiving video. I hope that I remember. Hopefully you're seeing it on Thanksgiving. And so if you do, I'm not going to be in the comments section very much because I am having Thanksgiving. And I wanted to actually ask you what you guys are doing for Thanksgiving. You don't have to share, but personally, I feel that a lot of individuals, at least on my caseload as a therapist, a lot of folks, unfortunately, are not doing much for Thanksgiving because a lot of people have trauma. They don't have family that they trust. They're not in a relationship to which they feel safe enough to have Thanksgiving. So I'm just curious what you guys are doing. I hope that you guys are doing something, but if not, that's okay. I just hope that you're happy. You have time for yourself. Hope that you're off work, but if not, I hope that it's a nice day for you. For me, what I'm doing is it's just me and my partner. I'm cooking for us. A lot of you guys know I love to cook. I'm just doing something kind of basic, but for me, it's very enjoyable. It's very relaxing. I'm going to make like a ham, macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes. I'm probably going to do he likes a sweet potato casserole with the little mini marshmallows, so I'll do that. I'll do cornbread, but I'll do like cornbread muffins instead. And I might do biscuits, homemade cranberry sauce, and maybe some other things thrown in there. But I sometimes like to make more than we're going to eat because I like to have leftovers so I can make like sandwiches or something like that and he'll eat it. So that's kind of my plan. I do hope that you guys have a good Thanksgiving. So let's go ahead and jump right in, okay? Why do avoidants sometimes offer friendship when in fact they still love you? I'm going to mention that not every avoidant does this, okay? Doesn't mean that if you guys are in a relationship or married that suddenly one day they're going to say, hey, let's just be friends. That may happen, but it usually happens when an avoidant is in the earlier stages of the relationship, but also earlier stages of their healing, okay? Why do they do it? Because they still, in short, because they love you, so they want you in their life, but they want it on their terms without the pressure, which is why they call it friendship, even though it likely will still be romantic. It's just called friendship, okay? So that is the main reason why they do it, but there are variables within this perspective, okay? So the first one is their control issues, okay? Avoidance in general, they like to, you guys know this, dictate the pace of the relationship. That means it's usually on their terms. Even if it's romantic, even if you guys are married, usually it's their way, okay? And so they often prefer things to be on their timeline. And often what happens is if you are pushing so heavily for your timeline, they might shut down and turn it into, okay, let's be friends. Because they're like, okay, the reason this person is trying to take over the timeline, someplace I'm very uncomfortable with, let's just say from their perspective, is because we have a romantic relationship. If I turned it into friendship, they'll stop asking and then I can do it on my terms. It's not healthy. It's very selfish, but it's how they are programmed because in their mind, they think me, myself, and I got to look out for myself. That's how they perceive it, okay? The next one is fear of disappointment. If the relationship is boyfriend and girlfriend, I love you, I'm married to you, whatever it is, they feel like you will have expectations and they are more likely to disappoint you. And so by offering friendship, they can't disappoint you because they know they feel more than friends for you. So there's no way that they could disappoint that because they're friends plus more. That's how they perceive it like, okay? And so sometimes what can kind of offset this is if you do feel like your expectations are too high based on their perspective, right? It's a perspective. You may actually communicate maybe lower expectations and appreciate them for who they are. This might help offset that, just giving you that. The next one is they might want to protect their bond. There is a side, more common with female avoidance, but in general, there is a side where avoidance might not feel like the relationship is healthy. And this happens. It's sad and it does happen. And when this happens, they still love you. And maybe it's because you're doing things that's not healthy and they are not sure what to do. Maybe they're doing things and they don't know what to do, but they are worried to lose you. And so what happens is sometimes they feel like if the relationship fails, maybe they can still be with you. So sometimes what can happen is they might not even be romantic with you, but they still do things that are romantic, but they call it a friendship. This is more common, where it's like they're really afraid to lose you, or they're afraid that the relationship might not be healthy. And if that's their fear, that's not anything to do with you. It might, but it's more likely because they feel like, in general, they feel like a lot of relationships are unhealthy and they're afraid that they'll lose you to that possibility. It's more like that, okay? And so what can end up happening is you can reassure them that you're working on yourself, you're managing yourself, or you can say, like, you can open up to me. If there's something that I'm doing you don't like, tell me that. And so that you can help them to navigate those fears. But also you can reassure them that I'm never going to be negative towards you. I'm never going to hate you no matter what happens, right? Saying something along those lines can really help them to feel like they don't need to protect this bond so strongly, okay? The next one is external pressure. A barrier that can be really pronounced can be like work. If they're busy at work, they can't necessarily offer as much as they want to, and they don't want to call it a relationship if they're not fully in it because of their work pressure. And so they call it a friendship, but they're still hoping that at one point it will be romantic. Sometimes what can also happen is if there's pressure where they feel like they're not allowed to love you. Maybe you guys are colleagues, or maybe you guys are long distance and they feel like it won't work. Even though they do love you and they do like you, but they feel like they won't have enough time. Let's say you're in California and they're in North Carolina. They feel like it's not going to work because there's too much distance. And they feel like they could lose you. And that pressure, that external pressure of that distance, might make them feel like that's a barrier. And so you can mention, if that's something you think is what's going on, that you feel like you can make it work. You're okay with traveling some of the time. You're okay if you guys need to communicate a little less, kind of making it work so they can figure out what's going on and what's bothering them. And the last one is actually self-doubt. Avoidants strongly doubt their capacity in romantic relationships, just genuinely. They feel that they don't have what it takes, which is a very negative way to put it. But part of it's true. They do struggle with a lot of attributes that you need to have a healthy relationship. People with insecure attachment does, but a lot of things that avoidants do can sabotage it even more severely than other attachment styles. This is just true. It's okay, right? And so for that reason, particularly, they know that they've had some experiences. They lost those people and they are trying to navigate their life so they don't hurt other people or hurt themselves. And so they're afraid they won't be able to give you what you want and they'll lose you. And so sometimes providing reassurance and highlighting their positive traits may help them to alleviate those doubts, okay? So let's go ahead and summarize why avoidants offer friendship when they love you. Control issues, fear of disappointment, protecting the bond, external pressure, and self-doubt, okay? I hope this video was helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. I hope that you guys have a good Thanksgiving. I hope I remember to post this on Thanksgiving. See you guys tomorrow.